Welcome to the 2025 Grid League season. You're watching Miami match. Tampa Bay Brigade versus the South Beach Palms. Out here for the South Beach Palms, this is rookie Corey Hendon, and that is going to be Dan Ty, who we were speaking about earlier during that pre-match over there for the Brigade. The last time that the Brigade and the Palms faced off against each other last season, the Palms narrowly took that win. It was a close match to the very end. There's a lot of rookies on this season. These are completely rebuilt teams. The Palms adding some depth to their bench that they really desperately needed because they were working with sparse rosters for the last few seasons. And then the Brigade obviously adding some serious talent because they said that they didn't want any of the drama. They just wanted people that wanted to work, Byram.
Hey, that sounds all well and good, but once you're out here and that fire is cooking, hey, all that talk goes out of the window. I want to see how these athletes perform at the highest level. We spoke about Dan Ty. He's a rugby player, so I want to see how his actual athleticism translates to the grid. Right now, the Palms are showing really great strength out there, and I'm looking forward to them getting down this grid and in these quadrants.
That's right. It looks like the Palms were out first to the kettlebells for that second quadrant, but the Brigade are moving just a little bit faster, so maybe they're able to make up some time here. Obviously, the Palms have been working on this for a while, so their transitions are a little bit smoother than we see over there on the Tampa side. Maybe they didn't get to practice that much with our new player, Dan Ty, there.
And like you always mention, how we mentioned, Cassie, strategy is key. Just to go over some of the rules for the people at home, one person is working at a time, as you can see right now. Their partner must be located in the correct hash block along the side of the lane for reps to count.
Yep, and that's right. And that stick that's over there on that hurdle has to be attached to the hurdle or else the reps don't count, and it's your responsibility to fix it, like we just saw Heather from the South Beach Palms do. It looks like the South Beach Palms are the first ones to switch out for their second quadrant players. We have Cody Rice over here with Sam Secord ready to come in. We saw Cody Rice come in last year as a rookie for the South Beach Palms. He's located in Arizona, so it's a lot of fun to see him here back on the grid. Sam Secord, of course, a veteran player and strong one. And we have Rebecca Rouse over there for the Brigade. She's a very popular Olympic weightlifter, very talented, has been training grid, taking the sport very seriously. You love to see it, Byram.
Yes, and also, as we spoke about before, the format for this entire match here in Miami is geared toward the utility players. So it's not so much speed, not so much being overly strong, as we see the Palms perform admirably out there. So we're going to see who can take it the best.
That's right. These are some really big kettlebells we see being slung over here for the South Beach Palms. The South Beach Palms are keeping their lead pretty well here. The Brigade are going to have to make up some time. Cody Rice, a little bit of a stumble over here for those, but that's a really tall hurdle. So, I mean, I don't know. I would struggle too.
Yeah.
Rebecca Rouse over there on the kettlebell. Sam Secord about to finish up her last rep, and the Palms very comfortably are going to take the partner forward.
Way to take the win, Palms. Like I said, utility players are probably going to shine today. So anybody who seems like they may have the upper hand, not so fast, my friend. Look at Rebecca Rouse. She's trying to finish out strong. We're going to see if they can regroup for the next race.
And they finish well within the time cap, 38 seconds to spare. Their team's going to come and meet them down at that finish line. Little camaraderie, you know, even though they lost, you got to keep those spirits up. And we love to see a good partner forward win from the South Beach Palms.
Absolutely. You know what I'm noticing out there, Cassie? Courtney Moss looks in shape. It's been some while, you know, he had some injuries a couple of years ago, and it looks like, you know, it takes time when you come back from an ACL. So it's very exciting to see him look good out there, and I'm waiting to see him perform as well.
Yes, he looks very strong out there. I mean, this is great. League. Who doesn't look strong out here? Let's go ahead and take a look at the roster so we could get a good look at them. We're going to look at the Brigade first. This is going to be our home team.
Hey, the whole team, listen, I said this before, Cassie, when we spoke on the Gridlock pod. I got the Tampa Bay Brigade going to the championship. We're not sure yet, but that team is loaded. As we're looking right here, we got Dalton here. Is Dalton here today?
Dalton is here today.
Okay, I'm ready to see him on the aerial assault on the bars. That brother has been training all season. We already mentioned Ty. We already mentioned Rebecca Rouse. So we got some players that we're looking to see really perform at the highest level today.
Right, of course, Jess Kreisman coming back after last season. She was having her baby baby. She was competing pregnant at the beginning of the
remember
season.
that?
Had
Belly
her
and all.
baby. Yes, she killed it.
She did.
And let me say, so she is the coach and owner of the team as well, as well as Tom Pasenda, excuse me. We have that rookie Mike Rosa over here. He's looking like he's a good addition to their squad. A good look for them to add in. Christopher Chaffee, of course, very skilled bodyweight specialist. Hannah Bissett, one of the smallest in the league. This is a very well-rounded team. They don't have too much of the bodyweight specialists, but you really don't need them with who they have. You know what I mean? Their strength specialists are rocking. Their utility players can do it all. It's a little bit crazy. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Palms now. The Palms are finally added a few key players that they were missing, because we know that the Palms have always worked with a little bit of a sparse roster, right? I mean, the least that you can have on a team of females is 5, and they were working with 5 last season. So it looks like they've added Nicole Hunt, they've added Bailey Yarbrough, and Loredana Niroda, and she's actually coming all the way from the United Arab Emirates.
Wow,
so
far away.
she traveled a very long way to compete for the Grid League.
And I'm looking to hit, you know, we got Brandon Shipper. He's Old Faithful, always doing his thing out there. And Heather Hudson, she's fly out there. I look at her as a go-to player for the South Beach Palms. So anybody can get it out here with this particular format, and we're going to see how interesting it gets in the race today.
Of course, and the South Beach Palms, of course, being led by the leadership of Cody Landrum, as well as Jay Melian, who's coming on as an assistant coach as well to help out the team. Just to make it a little bit easier on Bryleigh. We've seen Bryleigh do a little bit of everything, right?
Yeah.
She's one of those Taylor Stallings characters that coaches while she's on the grid and competing. It's a little bit crazy. It's not for everybody, but she definitely does do it. But glad that she has a good, supportive team here.
Absolutely. I think we got a few player coaches coming in today for a couple teams. It's an extra, you know, amount of responsibility to actually hold the team together and perform as well, but that's why it's only for the special players. So we're going to see them perform great today.
Let's see what we can look forward to in the mirror.
The second race of every match always features a barbell element. A male and a female barbell are placed in the first quadrant. Upon the start of the race, both are picked up by the team in any fashion by the 3 men and 3 women allowed in the race at any given time. Once the barbell leaves the ground, it may not touch the ground again until all reps are complete. If it does, the entire team must return to the start line before continuing. A set number of reps must be completed by both genders in each quadrant before the team can move on. Non-lifting players will act as the human rack to support the barbells as the team moves from quadrant to quadrant and switches performing players in the process as needed. Substitutions may happen at any time. Time stops when all reps are complete and the last player crosses the finish line. This strength-focused race has the most players on the grid at the same time and requires effective planning and practice to be executed well through coordination amongst players. Remember, don't drop the barbell in the mirror race.
Welcome to the mirror race. This is, of course, females on one side, men on the other side, and the element today is going to be hang snatches. The women's weight is going to be 115 pounds, and for the men, it's going to be 175. Everybody's going to be doing 7 hang snatches in each quadrant before moving on, and it looks like they are pretty neck and neck. They move to this other quadrant right at the same time. Of course, you have to keep the bar over the plane of the body, as well as keeping those elbows locked out at the top.
Absolutely, and we're going to see both these teams mirror each other, men and females doing the same thing. The key is the transitions, as we always mention, going from quadrant to quadrant. If you drop those Valor barbells out there, well, actually, what is that, a heavy, what do you call that out there, Cassie? Not a barbell.
That's a barbell.
That's a barbell.
That's a golden barbell with Valor purple plate.
There you go. Don't drop it. You got to start over, so it's something for them to keep in mind.
That's right. It looks like there was a little bit of struggle in quadrant 2. Courtney Moss having to make up for Kyle Massey in that quadrant with the hang snatches. Kyle Massey did have an injury not too long ago. Courtney Moss once again taking over. The transitions are hard for the Brigade over there. South Beach Palms are about to finish. 1 rep remaining. Drop at the same time in the Palms. Very, very comfortable win for them.
Hey, you see what these Palms are doing? They're coming out hot. Like we said, even though Tampa Bay may be the favorite, the odds-on favorite, that does not mean that you're going to win. Every rep counts, every transition counts, and your strategy is on point.
Oh, it looks like Tampa just threw that challenge flag. That's the first time in the season, because the first time that we have that rule. We saw him throw that red flag on the ground. That means that he is going to challenge something. And if I'm correct, it has something to do with whatever happened in that second quadrant with Kyle Massey that they transferred over to Courtney Moss. I'm thinking something like they weren't hitting the standard, but they felt that they were hitting the standard.
Okay.
So we're going to find out in just a little second what exactly happened there. I don't want to speak too much on it since I don't know about it, but they are going to keep those barbells there for now. If they do end up rerunning the race, Tom Pacenda gets to take back that challenge flag, so he has 2 challenge flags, right? Because that's what you start off with. But if you win your challenge, you get to keep your challenge flag. That's the important thing to remember here. But if they do have to rerun it, and if his challenge is correct, they will rerun it. They will start with the bar on the ground on the 3rd quadrant. Of course, they almost did drop that bar in the 4th quadrant. Something happened with their strategy. They didn't know exactly what was happening, but the Brigade are not happy. Let's go ahead and take a look at them right now. It's a very heated discussion. Jess Kraisman, Tom Pacenda, all of them very stressed out about something.
Yeah. Oh, and this is also what I call gamesmanship as well, Cassie, because obviously the Palms came out hot. So now the Brigade saw that. They have to regroup. They have to show that they have that medal to get to where they need to go. Let's see if they can bring it back around with this challenge flag. It sounds like some NFL things going on with that challenge flag. Like, you throw it out there, and if you don't get it right, you lose it, right?
Byram, I'm so excited about it. I can't even tell you. I saw him throw it. Well, because he had it in his hand, right? So he was like threatening to do it, and then he threw it on the ground. Once a coach or a team captain throws it on the ground, you cannot take it back.
Oh, wow. Here we go. This is the first.
So it looks like something was being reviewed about the press out with Kyle Massey in quadrant 2, just like I said.
You know what's interesting about that, Cassie? I was looking at his press, and it seemed, I won't say there was a struggle there, but it looked a little different. So I'm interested to see if they can run it again.
It's kind of like Olympic weightlifting. He doesn't have the strongest lockout, right? So in Olympic weightlifting, if you don't answer with your arms out straight, you know, with that snatch, you're not going to get that white flag, which is what you want. You'll get that red flag. It's kind of the same thing here, except we'll let you do the bend as long as you finish on the extension. But in weightlifting, what we have is a rule that you can show your elbows to the judges to show that you don't have that full range of motion, and then it's up to the referee to decide whether or not the rep is good. So here in Grid League, it's kind of the player and the coach's responsibility to tell them what your range of mobility is, because if nobody knows, then there's not really a way for you to decipher that.
Absolutely. That's called strategy, right? Knowing your players, knowing your depth, knowing what your players can do. So we're seeing an early version of that now. Let's see if these Tampa Bay Brigade can regroup.
Yeah, it looks like they're reviewing the camera with our head referee, Brandon, right now. But the Brigade are over here practicing. If we can take a look at the grid, they're practicing their transitions for that mirror. They're like, I'm not happy with how that went. Let's go ahead and fix it. Because it looks like they didn't get a lot of time to, you know, coordinate with Dan Tai, because he was a little bit struggling there too.
That's what we were talking about earlier. Dan Tai, great athlete, well accomplished around the world. But when it comes to this grid, it gets a little bit different. The technicalities are key. So let's see if he can lock in, and let's see if they can perform at their highest level. Here we go. The refs are coming over.
Like they're having a discussion.
How excited are you to be here in Miami right now, Cassie? This is the Miami International Fitness Expo. We got Grid League here. We got a whole lot of things going on. So what do you think?
I'm very happy to be here. I mean, I live here.
Yes.
I go to school right across the street from actually this expo center.
Yes.
So I'm very happy that everybody gets to come to my city and I get to show them food. I was actually having a talk with Tom Soroka on the pod the other day.
The mountain.
The mountain. And we were talking about pizza, and he said that he wanted to try Cuban pizza. So I was giving him a recommendation. Well, he didn't say he wanted to try Cuban pizza. I told him about Cuban pizza, and then I told him to try it, actually. That's how that went. But Cuban pizza, in case you haven't tried it, it's like very crunchy. It's very yummy. Not a whole lot of tomato sauce, but they put picadillo on top, which is like a ground beef. It's a ground beef.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's real good.
Yum, yum.
We're having too much fun out here. We're waiting for that referee ruling over here.
Yeah, we just want you to have fun. Everybody in the chat, shout out. Listen, if you're enjoying Grid League, what are we going to tell them to put up out there in the Grid League in the chat?
Why don't you tell us where you're from? I'm from Miami. Byram, tell them where you're from.
I'm from Brooklyn, New York, baby, all the way down here. But listen, I've been in New York for 20 years, over 20 years, but I'm originally from Alabama. If you heard the live stream, you know this already. So I'm a country boy at heart, you know, but I'm a city boy on the surface. So we're having a little fun down here at Grid League, you know.
We sure are. And you're also a Knicks fan. I'm going for the Pacers. I had to address it on the live stream. We're talking about it.
You know what? We're on a live stream, so I'm not going to say too much. But our players are tired. We had a chance. You heard my delusional proposal when we were on the Gridlock pod.
I sure did.
So we're down 0-2. We'll see what happens.
I mean, I want to see if a team today hits that Tyrese Halliburton choke, you know?
Oh, my gosh. You know what? I'm not talking to you right now, Cassie. Nope. Nope, 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 nope.
We'll be right back.
Stop trying to go as fast as possible. Do it again. Okay. Let's go.
I do my 6, 7. Whoever's over here is the next person going. It's a great vibe, but just bringing it to the rest of the league that says, hey, we're still here. We're here. We never left.
We're going to go over every single race, make sure they all know what it is, remind our past players what they are, go over like the strategy stuff, the rules.
Amazing compared to what we're used to. I'm so used to doing so much, so it's almost like a challenge to specialize.
When you're popping it down, you can re-grip it, but the snatches, I don't re-grip my snatches. Remember that first feeling, man. I remember my tryout. Brigade at 3, Brigade at 3, 1, 2, 3, Brigade!
I need some mobility work for my pistols.
A big guy that moves like a utility player, so I can move some pretty heavier barbells, you know, pretty fast.
I do love the high skill gymnastics, backwards rolls, back up rises.
We're going to run through every race for match 1 today.
We're playing the Palms first match. I know they beat us by a little bit last time, but we didn't have to win that match, so I think now we're coming for like, hey, we're gonna take care of business from the start this time.
The Palms are one of those sneaky good teams. If you just look at them on rosters, like, oh, maybe they're not, but they're always a top elite team, and we love going against top elite teams.
We want a rematch from last year.
One for the season!
And we are back with some news for you, friends. As you can see, they're setting up those barbells in the 3rd quadrant. That means we're going to hit a rerun.
Yes, a rerun is in action right now. This is the fun part. You know, you get a chance to do it.
It sure is. And it was the first time that the challenge flag was thrown, and Tom gets to keep that challenge flag.
Nice.
Very excited about that. If you have any questions, you can refer to the United Grid League website about any of the rules here today. And you can actually reach out in the chat, and someone will talk to you about it. We're dying to talk about Grid League over here.
Absolutely.
But for now, the South Beach Palms and the Tampa Bay Brigade are going to rerun this race, starting in the 3rd quadrant, doing the 4th, and seeing who gets to the finish line. Because the chief ref did say that Kyle Massey's reps in the 2nd quadrant should have counted. And that's why they ended up going to Courtney Moss, of course, because he was exhausted. He did 4 more reps than he was actually supposed to do. I would be exhausted too.
That ain't fair. You got to get that done right. You know what I'm saying? We need Courtney Moss to be his best self at the end of this race. You know what I'm saying? Because we're going to need him for some strength stuff.
That's right. Let's go ahead and take a look on the grid at these game faces. They're going to be running out here for the 3rd quadrant and picking it up the same way that they would as if it was in the 1st quadrant, right? Of course, the same rules still apply. If you drop the bar, the whole entire team has to run back to the start line, pick it back up, and start from the floor. We are 30 seconds out from the start of it.
Listen, I'm ready to see these 2 teams do it again. We have less quadrants, so we can start at the 2 or the 3 right now.
We're going to be starting at the 3, so they're going to have to pick it up on the floor, same way that they would do from the start.
Okay, we can fly through it. Let's see them go.
Yeah, it's going to come out to who can start their reps fastest, I think, because they were just about neck and neck at the very beginning until that mishap happened. Hopefully the Brigade figured out their transitions here.
Very key.
And they are off. Oh, they are track stars. Oh, because they're bringing it into the fourth quadrant. There we go. Cody Rice started first. Jess Placencia, a little bit of a slow start. Oh my goodness.
Oh my
Isabella Carvalho and Courtney Moss, they were flying through it. And the Brigade took
Let's go, Courtney.
that.
Let's go, Courtney. You saw him pose. I took you up, my boy. Yeah, performing like the big dog that he is.
That's
Great
a big
comeback
dog.
by the Tampa Bay Brigade. Great job by those guys. Hey, the challenge flag worked. It worked, and it came out in their favor. Great job.
You love to see when something like that happens and they get the justice they deserve, right? Because it's something that should have been redone. So they're going to keep that challenge flag, and they are also going to take that race, which is a lot of fun because it's a lot of give and take. There's, you know, the Palms finishing with the partner forward first, and then now we have the Brigade on the mirror first. So it's anybody's game at this point. Like I said earlier, this is going to be anybody's, so glad to see that it worked out that way. In just a second, we're getting ready for that ringer point race. That ringer point is going to be triple touches. Let's go ahead and take a look at Byram and talk about the equipment used.
All right, folks, we are here on the grid right now, preparing for the aerial assault right here on this apparatus right now. Now, I love body weight. I'm from the calisthenics realm, right? So we are going to see these toe touches. We are going to pay attention to how they do it. You can hear Ken in the background. We're going to be paying attention to how they hold their hands, the different sequences, the strategy, and most importantly, the athletes, how they perform. We're going to see them perform at the highest level up here. So we want you to pay attention right here. Aerial assault, baby. This is the grid. Let's get it cracking.
That's right, we're getting ready for this ringer point race. It's gonna be an exciting one. For the players, we have from the home team, the Tampa Bay Brigade, the one and only Marissa Oxenford, very small, very talented, very good gymnast. And for the away team, that's gonna be the Palms, we have Johnny Caraballo. This is his very first match on the Grid League. We saw him earlier in the partner forward, and he is going to be the first one out for that ringer. It's always hard as a rookie to do a ringer, especially if this is your first time watching grid and this is your first time on the grid and you have to compete by yourself, right?
Yeah, you got to listen. You got to have some intestinal fortitude. Is that what they call it?
Intestinal fortitude. Interesting.
It's all you. It's you versus you out here. So you know what you can do. You know what you prepared for. So we're gonna see these bodyweight specialists get cracking out here, right?
Get it on the Grid League, right?
There we go. Get it on.
Let's go ahead and take a look at those game faces. They're going to be started any second. Of course, a triple touch is going to be a toes to bar. Then it's going to be a chest to bar into a muscle up, and you have to do all three of those. If you mess up on any of those, you will have to redo the entire, we call it a complex because it involves different elements, right? So it's 3 elements in one. So if you mess up one of them, you have to redo it.
Now my question, Cassie, do they start from a dead hang? Do they start from a dead hang when it comes to these triple touches, or does it matter?
I think they could just swing right into that kip.
Got it.
Yes, so that is actually a good question that we will get clarity on soon. But Johnny Caraballo with that game face on the grid, Marissa Oxenford ready for it. This is Marissa Oxenford's bag. We haven't seen Johnny compete yet, though, so I'm excited to see how he does, especially against such a seasoned veteran.
Okay, this is a bag. Let's see if it's Louis or Coach.
There we go. Johnny Caraballo, very fast, actually came up first. Whoa, that is a fast dude.
That's adrenaline right there.
He's not much bigger than Marissa either, so that range of motion is about to be the same. Marissa
it's coming down to the wire.
Marissa's getting into her rhythm, though. He is a little bit chicken winging those muscle ups. Last rep remaining, and he has to sprint.
She's out of here.
Wow, that was amazing. Marissa Oxenford is going to take that ringer point, but Johnny was very, very close behind. Now, the thing about ringer points that we have to remember is that you have to finish within 10% of the other team, because if you don't, you get 0 points instead of that participation 1 point.
Yes, a very important race right here. Every point matters. So the fact that you get this ringer point is very, very good for the Tampa Bay Brigade. They started out a little slow today, so they're trying to stack points, and let's see them get it on in the next race.
I mean, Johnny did very well for a rookie. I can't tell you for sure you have friends, but I'm pretty sure they're going to get credit for that one because it looks like he was not very far behind.
No, he wasn't. He started out really strong. I call that that adrenaline, you know, that adrenaline reps. And then once he got into the last few reps, it looked like he faltered just a little bit. So she caught up and got that win.
She sure did. She got her rhythm. We'll be right back. Let's look ahead into the Echo.
Is made up of 4 stations of elements that each must be completed before moving on in the race. 1 male and 1 female are allowed on the grid at any given time, but only 1 player at a time can perform reps. Substitutions may happen at any time. Once the Echo race is complete, get ready, because the same race will be repeated 45 seconds later. This race is about managing fatigue with your best players and leveraging roster depth to keep performance at a max pace through the second Echo. Remember, get ready to do it again in the Echo race.
1 sentence to describe my pain journey. I don't like getting old. I'm always achy in my knees and my neck. When I first started taking Lubricin, you can notice like drastic difference. The first 2 to 3 weeks of squatting is when I really noticed it. I'm able to like activate muscles a little bit quicker and like it's not nearly as achy when I am doing certain stretches.
So sum up your experience with Lubricin in 1 sentence.
Take it. How about 2 words? Take it. If you are achy, comma, take it.
And we are back. Of course, that ringer point was presented by Lubricin. Joint health starts here. Now we're moving into the Echo. We're going to start off with 155-pound barbell squats overhead for the men. For women, it's going to be front squat. It's going to be 30 total. Dumbbell burpee over a 20-inch box. Men's weight is going to be 50 pounds. Women's weight is going to be 35 pounds, 20 reps of that. 30 reps of the double touches, and 125-pound barbell hang. For the men, it's going to be hang snatch. For women, it's going to be hang clean. And of course, that's going to be 30 reps in that 4th quadrant. The element values are next to it to see which ones are the hardest. But I have a great surprise for you today, friends. I'm here with the one and only Taylor Stallings. Taylor, how are you?
I am beside myself right now. It's bittersweet being on this side, but I'm excited to be here.
I'm sure you've gone against some of the people here on the grid today. You've been on the same team as some of the people on the grid here today. How are you feeling?
Mixed emotions again. Like I just retired, but just watching this, I'm like, I haven't like FOMO. It's just like it's been an incredible match so far. It's been great.
For sure. In case you didn't know, Taylor Stallings is the coach and owner of what was formerly known as the Orlando Aces. A lot of them have gone on to the Fort Lauderdale Lions. Some of them have joined the Tampa Bay Brigade, and they're kind of, dispersed. But they were a winning team. Won the championship in 2023. That was extremely exciting. You won Coach of the Year. Yep. What are you looking forward to today?
Oh, out of this match or just the whole day in general?
Just the day in general, just being here.
Just a great day of grid. Yes. And so, like, I've been in this sport for 10 years, so actually being able to be on this side and talk sport about grid, the nuances, I'm really excited about that.
That is so exciting. We're getting ready for this Echo race. What is it that we need to know from a coach's perspective about the Echo race? Because, of course, it's 1 male, 1 female on the grid at a time. There's a lot of switching out. What's the communication like?
It's all communication. It happens so fast, but it doesn't happen fast. But especially for the rookies, it's all about communication. And if everybody's going to have a game plan, but also not being married to that game plan. So if something starts to slow up, knowing that you don't have to be a hero, but talking to the person that you have out there so that y'all can switch off and make the adjustments accordingly.
That's really insightful what you said about not being married to the game plan, because on the grid, anything could happen, right?
Oh, 100%. Like, everybody has a goal until you get punched in the face.
Oh my goodness, that is so true. Or until you take like a barbell to the shin or something like that.
Or a box to the shin.
Oh, the box.
Knock on wood.
And we are off for the Echo, 1 male, 1 female at a time. We're starting off on the squats. For men, that's going to be overhead. For the women, it's going to be front. Now, talk to me a little bit about who's looking good right now, Taylor. We saw the first few races. We saw the Palms win 2. The Brigade win 2. The Palms win that partner forward. What's it looking like?
Right now, It's exciting. It's going back and forth right now, and I think this is definitely going to go all the way down to sprint relay. But I'm definitely keeping an eye on Corey Hendon right here, over here on the palms. I talked to my girl Bryleigh, and she made some bold claims and already calling him for Rookie of the Year this year.
Oh, yeah. Those are some big words. Corey Hendon just ate those overhead squats, though, and he made sure that he really pulled his hips forward, too. That was a bit of an exaggeration, but you have to do it sometimes, you know? You don't want to get called a fault on that.
100%. The overhead squats is probably the most called element in this sport, so you got to over-exaggerate those hips.
Absolutely. It looks like they're hitting that Nick Shappy weighted jump over the box with those dumbbells. That was crazy to see for the very first time on the grid last season, and it looks like they're implementing that here for the Palms for this. Hand up in the air, and they're going at just about the same pace.
It's going to be interesting to see if they can sustain it on the second echo. That does take a lot of leg power, and so we'll see if it pays off for the second echo.
That's right. The Brigade were the first ones to that bar, both of them waiting there, but Marissa started first because it looks like the Brigade won first. Marissa maybe just a little bit smaller than Bryleigh, so it adds to that efficiency. Bryleigh is obviously very fast, though. She has that close grip on that movement to make sure that she's, you know, going as fast as she can. Dalton Herrero, of course, over there for the Brigade, joining. Johnny Caraballo, who I see is doing a lot of work over here for the Palms because they lost Cody Schaefer, who's a big part of their team for the past few seasons. We have Isa Carvalho over there waiting to do her reps, and she's already starting on that last barbell.
Oh, I've actually coached Bella for a long time, and to see her go from kids grid to this and making a huge impact for the Brigade, she's been killing it. It was a huge part for the mirror to help close it out for the Brigade.
That's right. I remember she was a part of Kid Grids because I used to help out with the equipment for that, so it's interesting to see that she was actually turned into a player. That's what we want to see from the future. Wow, Cody Rice making really light of this barbell, though. So if Courtney Moss, but wow, and Courtney's about to finish, and the Brigade take yet another race.
Look at that tag team over there. Courtney and Bella, I think we're going to be seeing them closing out a lot.
Oh, definitely. Cody Rice, he slowed down a little bit now that he saw that they weren't going to win that one, but they finished well under that time cap. Woo.
I'm excited to see what this second echo is going to be. It was still close. The Brigade wasn't that far ahead, so let's see how those double box step overs.
That's right, and of course it's called the echo because it echo. Thank you for indulging me in that because it's my favorite part, and we're going to do the echo again. You have a 45-second transition time, and then it happens again. Same thing, but some teams, you know, tend to change strategy here. So what's going through your mind as a coach at this time if you're the Palms?
If I'm the Palms, I honestly wouldn't do anything different. If you have somebody fresher on either the boxes or on the back end, I would probably adjust that. But honestly, they were neck and neck with them. The double touches was Marissa had a little bit of an advantage because she is smaller. So let's see if they keep the same thing.
Absolutely. Let's see how they change up this strategy here. It looks like they're both going out for the same. That's Dan Haberman and Corey Hendon out here. Jocelyn Williams waiting to take the reins. And we're bringing out Bailey Yarbrough, which she's also a rookie. Very skilled, very strong. I believe she's a strength specialist, but this is our first time seeing her out here on the grid.
And she have her down here as a wild card, so I think they're coming in here to kind of save some legs for their girls here. She is a rookie, so this is something that's easy just to get her feet wet.
Absolutely. That's a really good point. Since it's her first time, you probably don't want her to be doing too much, especially if you have girls that can do all of these elements as well.
Exactly, because especially with the echoes, it's a lot going on. It's kind of overwhelming. So if you have a rookie on there, you kind of want their first experience to be a quick win, a quick, easy win, just to get the nerves out and the jitters out.
Interesting. It looks like the Brigade are going to be the first ones to that box. Atud Cabral coming over for that box too. Atud makes that box look like a stair. You know, like he's just casually going up the stairs to his apartment or something. Like that's what it looks like for him because he is just so tall. Of course, he's one of the tallest players in the league. And on the other side, we have Hannah Bissett, who's one of the smallest. So it's funny that they're going against each other again, and we can see that.
Archer is such a tall drink of water. When he was on the ground, his feet was pretty much hanging off the grid.
I know, he almost kicked his coach in the shins. His coach was like, whoa, I gotta move out of here. This is my cue.
Exactly, you better get out his way.
It looks like Dan Ty is finishing up for the Brigade, leaving Marissa Oxenford to be able to start out her reps, and they are the first to the bar very comfortably. Looks like they're missing up a lot of speed over here for the Palms on this box. Cody's telling them to switch out, and it looks like they're gonna bring in Johnny for those. But Marissa, of course, once she gets started, she took off with it.
It's going to be very hard to come back from this unless, God forbid, something extreme really happened. All they have to do is just make sure they have clean reps.
Definitely. Dalton Herrero coming out to finish it out. Very casual over there. Heather Hudson, of course, one of our veterans. She's doing really well on those bars, too. They're bringing out Abdul Cabral ready to come out any second now. And they're already on that heavy barbell. We have sorry, you call her Bella, no?
Bella,
sorry. Bella. Sorry, I won't do that again. I'm Hispanic. Bella starting on that bar over there. She's doing her thing of, light work, something casual.
Exactly, and at this point, I will honestly,
you don't gotta gas yourself out.
Exactly, don't do it. You got a long match ahead of you, so you don't need to do anything crazy. You just want to make sure everything is clean.
That's right. And it looks like the Brigade are going to take this race. The back-to-back echoes for them.
It is. And I'm going to be watching Cody the entire time because he did get a couple of falls opening up those hips. He has kind of a muted hip, and that's something that I would try to tell my athletes to really watch out for. So where your hips are in the back, everything just has to be stacked up. So he has gotten called on that a few times. So let's see over the season if he can clean that up.
Yeah, that's right. It looks like the Palms are going to finish under the time cap, so they will be getting credit for that race. Of course, another win for the Brigade. The Brigade are kind of taking it away here.
It's still a lot of match waiting to happen. So we've been down 7 races before and still came back and won. So it's still anybody's match.
I know, that's right. Let's go ahead and see what Byram's up to over here on the grid. Byram?
All right, folks, we got something special for you today on the grid, something spectacular, something really fun. So we got somebody right here. This is Miss Kaylee. Hi, Kaylee. You want to say hi to the chat?
Hi.
So Kaylee is going to do something special. She's going to see how many burpees that she can do in 30 seconds. By the way, we got Mommy over here, too, so she's in the cut lurking. We're going to see Kaylee get it on. You ready, Kaylee? 30 seconds to see how many burpees you can get. You ready? On your mark. Get set, and go. We got 30 seconds. Here we go, Callie. Yeah, there we go. I love it. Yes, up. Yes, down and up. Make sure you breathe, girl. Yes, yes, ma'am. You see her go, chat? Let us know how Callie's burpee's looking in the chat right now. Great job. Yep. Here we go. We got 13 seconds. Good job. You can slow it down if you want to, or you're going to go faster. Which one are you going to do? Are you going to go faster? Great job. Take a breath. Take a breath. Good job. You got 5 seconds left, Kelly. You didn't stop. 3 seconds left. One more, Kelly. Here we go for the win. Yes, Kelly. Give me a high five. That's how we do it, baby. Kelly did a great job. Great job. And we got to start. Nice surprise when you're from Olipop. Drink that. It's going to taste real good, okay? Great job by Kelly and Jennifer. And back to you on the grid.
Thank you for that, Byram. That was so much fun to watch. She did amazing. I hope you were doing it with her at home. If not, you'll have another chance during the next match. We're getting ready for this ladder. Let's go ahead and look forward to it.
Consists of 2 rows of 4 stations of a strength-based element. 1 row for males and 1 row for females. The weight increases as you move down the grid. Teams send out 1 player at a time, alternating male and female, to perform the designated lift for the match format. Each successful lift has a point value that is added to the team's ladder score. The point value is equal to the quadrant the barbell is sitting in. Players are allowed 1 lift attempt per quadrant and may skip any quadrant they choose, but are never allowed to backtrack once a barbell is passed. The team with the highest total point value at the end of the 4-minute time cap wins. This race is one of the most strategic and coach-reliant of all of the races. As a good game plan and in-the-moment decision-making, to manage time is everything. Remember, lift heavier and score higher in the ladder race.
And we are back. Taylor, go ahead and tell us what we can look forward to here.
You're going to be able to see. Oh, we have the thruster ladder.
That's all right.
I know
You're
this
just
is my
getting your
first
feet
day.
wet. Yeah.
First day, I don't even know what the ladder is. All right. We have the thruster ladder coming up. So we have 4 bars between both men and women. And it's going to start with a lighter barbell. And as the quadrants progress, the weight's going to continue to get heavier. And each quadrant will count as that corresponding point. So if you get the first bar, that's worth 1 point. The second quadrant is going to be worth 2 points, and so forth and so forth. So it's a total of 10 points each athlete can get.
A very good point there. It's going to start at 205 pounds for the men, 130 pounds for the women, and it's going to go all the way up to 265 pounds for the men, 175 pounds for the women. What's the thing that can go wrong here, Taylor? It's a thruster. So much.
A lot of things can go wrong. One, the biggest thing is not showing control at the top. So we'll see, because everybody's trying to go fast. So you have to make sure that at the top that you're showing control, waiting for the ref to say good, and then you're putting it down, because you don't want to waste any unnecessary time and energy making sure that that rep counts.
That's a really good point. It's really hard, especially if you're going so fast. I mean, you know, thrusters are very hard. You have to make sure that you're pushing it back and getting your head through, and also keeping it over the plane of the body. Some people might have trouble with that. Did you find that to be a problem when you had this kind of ladder?
No, honestly, I never had.
I mean, not you, your team. I know that you didn't have any problems doing anything. Let's make that clear.
I think the majority of it with the thruster is just the weight.
Yeah.
You have to make sure that you're catching it right. And so if you're trying to catch it in a full clean and come out of it, if you're on your toes, it's going to bring you a little bit forward. So I would tell my athletes, unless you feel absolutely confident in that last bar to catch it in that squat, just power it so you can stabilize it and then go into your thruster.
That's right. That's a good point, because remember, you have to catch the clean first and just control, you know, at the top, and then go into that squat and then do the thruster, correct?
Exactly, because everybody thinks it's a cluster, which is a squat clean into a thruster. It's just a thruster. So as long as you're getting into your shoulders and then going to the squat to overhead, that's all you need to do. But everybody gets so caught up in making it look pretty and trying to get on Instagram. It's like, no, it's all about making it count.
That's my problem, because I'm an Olympic weightlifter. So I'm like, if it doesn't look pretty, I'm not doing it. That's my problem. But I mean, I can only do the first bar of every ladder, so what do I know? Anyway.
Hey, first bars are still important.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And speaking of first bars, let's talk a little bit about the strategy when it comes to roster rules here. So why don't you give everybody a little bit of a taste of what the roster rules are and how you would navigate it to accommodate the players that you need for Jack and Jill to come in?
So the supporter grid is interesting and it's fun, because the roster really makes it interesting. So you'll look through a paper, you'll just assume that certain people will be in the ladder, but it also depends on the work that has to be done in the first half and also the work that has to be done in the second half. Because the roster rules is as soon as you pull out an athlete, that athlete cannot come back in.
Right.
Now there are some exceptions, like with the wild card. So the wild card, that wild card athlete is allowed to do 2 races, and you can sub in and out an active person, and that active person can't come back in. So as far as this ladder is concerned, you're probably going to have a body weight specialist or 2 in here, just because you need that person in for the second half for the Jack and Jill. So you have to be mindful of who you're taking out, but not screwing yourself at the end.
Absolutely, because if you take out like one of your strongest people, you might miss out on the ladder, but you might need that person for the Jack and Jill, right?
Exactly, and even to close it out in the sprint relay, if you put somebody in, but you also need to have a body weight specialist in at the Jack and Jill, then one of them are going to have to suffer. So you have to see what takes priority on both ends.
That's a really good point. And it's really interesting because for this ladder, it's going to be, you know, very fast. And obviously people are going to try to do what Blake Kidder did last season. We saw him do it. He blew through the ladder like if it was, you know, eating a stack of pancakes and he ate his breakfast. I'm going to tell Byram that I said that later because I stole that from him. But when we look at these teams, you know, we're just looking at them, right? Ladder, if you win by more than 10 points, the other team doesn't get a participation 1 point, correct?
Correct.
So looking at these two teams, from your expert perspective, who are we looking at?
I would say keep your eyes on the Brigade. I was talking to Jess. Jess is one of my closest friends, and she actually said she is the most confident about this one. And actually, she said she was thinking about throwing the bonus flag. I'm actually surprised I didn't see a bonus flag, but she said that everybody on her team can clear the ladder, but she was excited about this. So that's huge coming from the background.
That is actually crazy, especially considering how small some of their players are too.
Exactly. So I'm very interested to see not only everybody doing it, but how fast they can do it.
That's right. It looks like both teams opted to start off in that first quadrant and send out the girls that they knew could hit everything. Sam Secord, of course, clutch for the Palms, and Rebecca Rouse, Olympic weightlifter for the Brigade. Sam Secord making light of that last bar. Rebecca Rouse, very easy last bar for her too. So, of course, we talk about strategy. You know, they're going all to the first bar. They're trying to get as many points as possible. Whatever quadrant you're in tells you how many points you're getting for this added to your ladder, right? And they add up all the scores at the end. So what is the strategy that your team used to use? Did you opt to skip the first and second and go for the big bars?
It will depend on what the movement is. So something like a thruster is very quick. It doesn't take that much time. So the majority of my team will start from 1 to 4. But if it's something like a high complex movement, like the snatch or the hang snatch, we may see up a couple of bars. But this one, if you can, we'll definitely start from the 1st to 4th. But it's also about how fast you can. So
that's right. It looks like a little bit of a struggle with Bryleigh over here for the Palms. She was able to clear that ladder ultimately, but it looks like she had to like jump out of that squat a little bit because she had to like full squat clean it.
Yeah, she went down, came up, and then she came back down. And so once the bar comes off your shoulders and comes back down, the movement is done. So it came up a little bit, and she tried to redo it. So that counts as a second attempt, so she got faulted for it.
That's right. I mean, I'm losing track of how many people have cleared what, but it looks like they've sent about the same amount of people out because they're going neck and neck now, side to side. So we'll just have to see at the end what's counted up. That's Jocelyn Williams, very, very strong over there for the Tampa Bay Brigade. And it looks like Jess Placencia is actually skipping that 4th bar. So it looks like the Brigade actually might be up right now.
Yeah, from what I've seen, Jess is right. I think everybody has cleared the bar. I will say that was actually a very a vet move that Jess did over here. She did a squat clean, came up, showed control, and then went into the thruster. That is fine. As long as the bar doesn't come off your shoulders, it didn't count as an attempt on the thruster. So that was a vet move.
That's right. We were talking about Dan Tai earlier. He's a male model, of course. We had to talk about him because you had to talk about his front rack too, because you could tell because his biceps are so big. That's how I know he's a male model. You know what I mean? So he had a little bit of trouble with the mobility, but good thing for this movement, you don't necessarily need any of that, right?
It does not need to be on your shoulder. My first year grid, the whole entire year, the bar never touched my shoulder.
Oh, that's crazy. Cody Rice coming out here for the Palms, very strong, very skilled. Kyle Massey coming out. I'm sure he's not going to have another press out problem like he did earlier.
This is also the first match as well too, and it's the ref's first match as well too. So everybody's dusting off the cobweb. So they're probably going to get some calls wrong, but that's why I'm glad they have the challenge rule implemented on there, where the coaches can challenge something if they see something wrong, and they can go back and review it.
That's right. I'm really excited to see if anything happens over here, because you could also call it on the other team. You could be like, hey, that rep that you thought was good over here for the Palms, that was not good. So you better throw that that challenge flag, right?
Oh, 100%, 100%. And I'm starting to think that Jess should have threw that bonus flag.
Yeah, I'm thinking so too. That's a missed opportunity. I took Cabral over here clearing that 3rd bar. And let's see if he can hit the 4th, because a lot of the Palms were skipping it. Oh, very good for Cabral. He finally cleared that ladder. Attaboy.
Triad got some legs on him.
Dalton Herrero out here for the Brigade. Oh, and he timed out. He would have gotten that.
Yeah.
That was easy. He just spit himself out of under that bar like so easy.
He just wanted to keep his legs warm.
Yep. That's right. I'm really excited to see what the score is once it's tabulated, right? So we're going to have to wait for that for a second. But in a second, Byram is going to be interviewing somebody at the start line. So he's going to go find someone for us. Hopefully someone that, you know, did really well, right? Because I don't want to hear the horror story.
I'm actually going to be paying attention to see if the Brigade covered that 10-point rule. Because if they did cover that 10-point rule and they did beat the Palms by more than 10 points, then that's a big 0 for the Palms. And that will put the Brigade up big time.
That's so true. Well, it looks like Byram is over there with Artur Cabral of the South Beach Palms. Let's go ahead and hear it.
All right, folks, we are here on the grid with Artur Cabral, one of the tall guys. I'm about 6'2", 6'3". He's about 6'4", 6'5", and I wanted to talk to him and see how does it feel to get down in those deep squats when you're out here on the grid?
Hey, it makes it easy when you have people screaming at your face and the adrenaline is kicking up, so it felt easy on the grid for sure.
How long have you competed on grid? Is this your first time?
That's my second season, yeah.
How are you feeling about 22-5 season?
Excited. I worked a lot to start clearing ladders, getting on mirrors, so I'm really happy about it.
Last question. What is the expectation for the Palms? You see what you're up against. Talk to me.
Yeah, it's a tough match. The Brigade is a good team. We're fighting to come back, but the goal is to win and get the championships for sure.
Say no more. Man of few words. Artur, thank you, brother. We'll see you soon, all right? Back to the desk.
Artur may be a man of few words after, you know, a race, but he is definitely not a man of few words. We've both spoken to him. He's in the comments of everything related to United Grid League, and I love that about him. I love an active participant, someone who's in the community trying to figure out everything. Trash talking, you know, a little bit of trash talking. I love it. I love it.
He bleeds the Palms. I love his emphasis because last year he was a rookie, so but he didn't play like a rookie, and so he drunk the Kool-Aid of grid, and he's a great ambassador of the sport.
That's right, and you know, we love him for that. Thank you to the Palms for finding him somewhere, wherever you did. But it looks like they're going.
You can't really miss him.
That's so true. Like, I can't see anything past him. Actually, that's crazy. We are looking forward to this ringer point race here, but they are tabulating the score for this ladder. So we're going to see if the Brigade finished with over 10 points over the Palms, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. If that happens, then like, it's not impossible for the Palms to come back, but it's definitely going to make that journey a little bit tougher.
That's right. So it looks like this ringer point is going to be aerial hurdles. And this is the one that I was the most excited for. We talked about this in the pre-show. It's going to be nuts. Tell me a little bit about it.
This is a new ringer point. So last year they brought in the aerials in the very first match. So now they decided, well, since that went viral on Instagram, why not make it into a ringer point?
And that was your team that went viral too, because it was Kalen Ambrosio, and he did the aerial and he broke his finger, popped his finger back into place, and then continued his aerials.
I didn't even realize he broke it until afterwards when my team was like, yeah, Kalen, he broke his dislocated his finger. I was like, when? Because he went out there and kept going.
It was so fast that I almost missed it on the live stream too, like watching it from here, and I'm watching on TV. Imagine that. So
just pop it right back.
He was just so casual. Like, I thought it was like, oh, like maybe he had, you know, tape on his fingers or something as gymnasts do, but no, he fully broke his finger.
He's insane. He's a monster. So he was like that the whole entire time. Every time we see him, he'll just chug energy drink, but I'm ready to go, guys. So I was like, hold up.
Of course, we're going to see his brother compete later as well for the Sharks. But for this aerial hurdle, we're going to be seeing Bryleigh Hansen come out for it. It's 4 inches off the ground. Now, the thing about aerials that scare me, right? Their head is fully, like, close to the ground for them, right? Because you're basically inverting completely backwards onto whatever you're doing. So you have to make sure that you're clearing that. So it's going to be interesting to see. Of course, it's Hannah Bissett for the Tampa Bay Brigade, and she's going to be taking over. Of course, we spoke about her earlier, one of the smallest on the grid. And by the way, the Brigade won that ladder.
Yes, they did. I couldn't hear. Did they say what the deficit was? Or?
We'll have to find out soon. So it looks like the score was Palm 71 and the Brigade 89. So that's well over 10 points.
Yeah.
So it looks like the Palms will get 0 points for that one.
Yep.
And the Brigade will take the 2. They should have thrown the bonus flag.
I think that probably would have been the nail in the coffin right there. But
yeah, right?
It just makes this sport, the rest of the day, even more interesting.
Yeah. Unofficial score so far is going to be Palms 6, Tampa Bay Brigade 11. So very comfortable lead, almost double the amount of points that the Palms have. So we're going to see maybe the Tampa Bay Brigade feel extra confident in this ringer point. I don't know.
I don't know because, well, we'll see if Bryleigh, I think Bryleigh's supposed to be doing this against Hannah. And I know I spoke with Bryleigh and she said she actually had to pull herself out of a lot of races because she is nursing a knee injury, practicing for the aerial. So I think she's still doing it, but I think I kind of give my money to her right now just because she's a little bit longer. Like Hannah is a monster, but in something like this, Bryleigh has a little bit more length so she can cover a little bit more ground, but Hannah is incredibly fast. But so it also depend on how Bryleigh is feeling, and anything can happen.
Yeah, and we saw that advantage play out last season with the back handsprings, right? Bryleigh was a little bit longer. She had to do less hit back handsprings than Hannah did. Not to say that Hannah wasn't, maybe doing 1.5 for every Bryleigh's 1, but it's a lot of ground to cover. It's 80 feet, right?
It is, and this is a long grid, so we'll see how that happens. And I don't know if there's any rules if you do hit one of the poles. God forbid if you do hit one of the poles, how that going to come into play. And again, it's grid. Anything can happen.
That's right. And of course, this ringer point is sponsored by Lubricin. Joint health starts here. It's a joint supplement. It is hyaluronic acid that you drink, not just use for your face. I'm sure you could if you wanted to, though. Interesting. New business idea. But very good stuff. I used it myself for my SI joint, and it's helped me tremendously. So shout out to Lubricin for this ringer point race. All right, everybody, don't blink.
They do have somebody else coming in.
Oh, they're sending out Hansen, rookie Hansen for the Palms. Hannah Bissett, the last one. Hannah took it.
Let's go. Okay, so Bryleigh decided not to do it. So I guess that injury did come into play.
Yeah, it looks like it did. It looks like you were right. It looks like that was, who is that? Edgar Cancine. Okay, he's a rookie. That's the first time that we saw him on the grid. He took that little misstep. He's a little bit bigger. Boys are not as graceful.
He's not, but he's so athletic.
But he's so athletic.
But did you see how Hannah she's such a firecracker.
Flew.
Such a firecracker.
It was so much fun to watch.
She must have heard what I said and took it personally, and I respect that because she flew across. I thought she was about to cover 2 of the hurdles at one time.
No, actually. And you'll see that again soon when you replay this before we come back from this break. But in the meantime, it was such a pleasure to have you here, Taylor. Thank you so much for your insight, for your mind, for your personality, for your smiles, and thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'll see you soon.
Awesome. We'll be right back.
Jack and Jill features 3 stations of high-level bodyweight-based elements that increase in difficulty moving down the grid. 1 male and 1 female are allowed on the grid at any given time, and only 1 player can be working at a time. The team can only move on to the next station when the previous station is complete. This race is the simplest when it comes to rules, but the most reliant on player skill and speed, as the hyper-specialists often make the difference in the race. Remember, let the bodyweight ninjas fly in the Jack and Jill race.
Nick Lavery here, active duty Green Beret, Army Special Forces, and co-founder of Machine Strength. This year, we are officially partnering with the United Grid League. Grid really did just jump off the page. And while there's an obvious linkage between us and them through my teammate and co-founder of Machine Strength, Rebecca Rouse, we knew it had to go beyond that. In my opinion, Grid is the ideal representation of a team and how winning by virtue of the team is how you achieve victory. Co-ed environment, wildly diverse. You've got individuals that have different strengths and weaknesses. And you have to take all that in, formulate a strategy, and then deploy those skills tactically. That is the recipe for victory. If you're on the field or on the battlefield, that is how you win. We're gonna be kicking it off June 14th in Seminole, Florida. Myself and a whole bunch of my team will be down there to represent, spend some time with the athletes, spend some time with the league, and most importantly, spend some time with you. We'll see you guys down there. Let's go.
we are back. This is the Jack and Jill race. I'm back here with Byram. Byram, tell them what to expect here.
All right, we're expecting bar muscle ups. 30 of those we need at quadrants 1 and 2. We have the ring muscle ups. We need 20 of those, 20 reps. And we have the backwards roll to support. Very interesting complex there. We have 5 of those we need at quadrant 3. So this is the aerial assault, Cassie, and we're going to see the body weight specialist at work.
That's right, and this is where I'm hoping to see Chris Chaffee come in. Chaffee. We haven't seen him come into the race yet, just because they haven't really needed him, which is awesome, because the Brigade are rolling in deep, you know? So not anybody has had to do or pick up too much of the work here. So it's going to be interesting to see how the body weight specialists fare against each other.
Yes, the depth is key. So when you've got a team that got a lot of people that you can interchange in and out, you can transform like Voltron, baby. And we're going to see Chris Chaffee do his thing out here. He's fresh. So
that's right, he is.
Yep.
Looks like Garrison Matthew is ready to come out. Of course, this Jack and Jill is sponsored by Rumble Roller Mobility Tools, and they're definitely going to need to use some Rumble Rollers on those lats after this here race. Rumble Roller is kind of like a muscle roller. You can put it on the ground, you kind of lay down on it, roll around.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome stuff there.
Absolutely.
So it looks like they're doing those ring muscle ups, bar muscle ups, I'm sorry. The key thing to here for the Jack and Jill is to remember that one person has to be working at a time. So if what they're doing right now is called waterfall, right? Okay. So they're taking turns to do it. If they mess up that waterfall and misgroove it and they do reps at the same time, it will not count because players cannot be working at the same time. Does that make sense, Byron?
It does make sense. It's kind of like synchronized swimming, kind of like, you know, you have one athlete doing one thing, you have to keep an eye on your athlete, of your teammate rather, so you can be prepared to go up. It looks like the Palms are having a little bit of a struggle right now, so let's see if they can catch up.
Yep, that's right. It looks like rookie Nicole Hunt was moving a little bit too slow for their liking. They had to finish up those bar muscle-ups. Brigade with a very comfortable lead over here. We see Chris Chaffee over here. Has he gone off those rings yet? Jeez, that's a lot of them. Only 5 reps remaining over there for the Brigade. He's going to bring up Hannah Bissett. She really needs that help to get up there, too. Corey Hending starting on that ring muscle-up. He's pretty fast at those. He's a rookie to look out for the Palms for sure.
Oh, yeah, and what's interesting about these type of movements right here on these elements is your hand placement. You're going from the bar to the ring now. So you're going from like a false grip, or you're going to a false grip probably to a neutral grip. So as we can see, Bryleigh Hansen has been tagged in. She was kind of waiting in the wings. So let's see if she can complete these ring muscle ups.
That's right. Let's keep an eye on Chris Chaffee over there. Those backward rolls to support, and they are out of here. Brigade are kind of mopping it up over here, huh?
Yeah, they kind of got their groove back a little bit. Their groove going, rather. They started out a little slow. The Palms were hot, but now that championship medal is starting to show, and they're looking like a well-oiled machine out there.
That's right. There's 3 reps remaining, 2 reps remaining now for the Palms. 50 seconds to go. I'm sure they're going to finish it. Brett Henry is a big dude to be doing that gymnastics. They call it big gymnastics over here.
Hey.
And they are going to finish well under the time cap and get that 1 point under their belt. Score unofficially now is 8 for the Palms and 15 for the Brigade. They're still at that double points from the Palms, you know, so they're keeping that very healthy lead there. But there's still things to be done, and we're looking forward to that next race, the Triad.
I was going to ask you, Cassie, do we have a little time? Can you explain that point differential at the end? Because I think maybe some watchers at home, viewers, may not quite understand how to stack those points.
So at the end of the season, there's 2 conferences. So there's the East and the West. And at the end of the season, if they have the same win-loss record, it will go down to whatever the point differential is. So you want to close that as much as possible.
Got it.
We'll be right back.
It is the only race in which there is a male and a female version performed separately. It consists of 5 elements, each with 3 stations that must be completed individually. 3 players can be on the grid at any given time. All players can perform at any station and in any order. But all of the designated reps must be performed at each station. All 3 stations of each element must be complete before the team can move on to the next element. The Triad is all about player conditioning and managing fatigue across the team. The best strategy ensures players have enough left in the tank for the last element and has backup plans for when things inevitably go wrong. Remember, try to catch your breath in the Triad race.
So where we are about to head off to is called Spoon Barbell, and it sounds really official, but it's actually in a 2-car garage in the home of Tom Witherspoon, who is the unofficial godfather of Texas weightlifting and still throws barbells over his head, and he has competed in 51 consecutive Texas state championship meets. You can do the math. And it's just an honor to train with him and to learn from him.
Hello, hello. Hey, Rebecca, how are you? Better than ever. How are you? Rebecca's longtime family friend started training here, and then when she moved to Dallas, he invited her to come train with us. We tried to discourage her and tell her to go away, but she kept coming back.
That's usually how you vet a new athlete, right? Having come from working at a luxury corporate facility and now coming to Spoon Barbell, it's the complete opposite experience for a training environment. There's no music. It's just barbells dropping, a little bit of conversation, and everyone doing their thing.
Tom's a lizard king. He doesn't sweat unless it's a 92. Yeah, it's gotta be above 90. I'm 75, so.
Lifting heavy weights, no BS, just hard work. It's pretty epic. My journey began, I guess, when I was 2 years old. My parents put me in ballet, which was the catalyst for me leaving ballet very shortly after and becoming a gymnast, because ballet to me was not interesting or exciting.
And we are back for the women's triad. And of course, this is going to be 3 females working at a time. Go ahead and tell them what to expect, Byram.
All right, folks, we are getting ready for kettlebell snatches. We need 15 reps at the first quadrant at 53 pounds. That's the women's weight. We got pullovers and wall balls at 10 feet. We need 5 reps at quadrant 2 for the pullovers and 15 reps at quadrant 3 for the wall balls. The women's weight for the handstand ramp, very interesting and new for grid. We need that coming in. Do we have this is handstand reps. Yep. Okay, we got the hang squat cleans at the end of that element. 15 reps at quadrant 4. So pay attention, folks. We're going to see some real fun elements going on out here on the grid right now.
This one is going to be a fun one. This is probably one of my favorite triad formats here. This Hansen ramp looks absolutely insane, which you'll see in a second. But we're basically going to see how the women fare against each other, right? Team to team.
Absolutely. So now we're going to do handstands. So folks at home that are handstand specialists, you already know how tough it is to do a handstand. You're going to see these athletes go up what looks like some stairs, and then they're going to go down the ramp. It's already hard to walk upstairs and up a ramp. Doing it on a handstand, what the hell? We're going to have some fun out here today.
No, you didn't. That's too funny. We had some fun on the handstand ramp yesterday.
Yeah, we did.
I tried it out. I almost broke my shoulder.
That's
it's
all
no
right.
big deal. I lived, but
athlete.
I felt really cool doing it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that much.
And it's going to be cool to watch, too. I can't wait. I'm excited to see. We saw the teams practicing. I think the Bandits were out here yesterday doing their thing. So let's lock in and let's have some fun, folks.
Oh, yeah. The Bandits looked like they were making child's play of that handstand ramp. But we're going to see how they do over here. I mean, the Palms are not scrubs. You know, they're all very talented. It's just a little bit of a few missing pieces. We're going to see if they could pick it up right here. Because if they could pick it up on these 2 triads, there's still a chance for them.
Yes, very important for the Palms right now. The Tampa Bay is grooving. They're grooving. You can see it. So now it's up to the Palms to try to match that. So we're going to see if they can do that in this particular race.
That's right. I mean, the Brigade they came in here very confident.
Oh, yes.
And I mean, not that they weren't, you know, very militant about everything that they needed to do. They were running practice, you know, very on time, you know, to say the least. The Palms were as well. It looks like the Brigade maybe they're just a little bit more local. They maybe just they gel a little bit better. They've, you know, invested in their rookies a little bit more, and we'll see how that pays off here.
We did mention that the Palms have some new pieces.
Yes.
So it can be interesting how the transitions and things like that strategy happens. It is, when a team has been together for some time, there's something to say to that. You know, the camaraderie, knowing how each other works. So it's important to see how the Palms can bring it together on this particular race.
Absolutely, because even though the Palms won it last season, right? The Palms won against the Brigade last season. Now the Brigade are coming back, but last season that was Brigade's new team, you know? So they just had that one season ahead of the Palms here to kind of, you know, gel and adjust and get that experience, because there's nothing like being on a grid. You can practice grid all you want, but there's nothing like actually being on the grid.
Yes. Now, athlete to athlete, who can say? When it comes to grid, it. You never know who's going to win element to element, race to race. It's a crapshoot. But if you're prepared for it and you know your strategy, anybody can get it. So let's see.
That's right, Byram. Let's go ahead and be right back. Take a look at that first camera.
Referees, 1 minute. Referees, 1 minute. This race is going to be the Triad. We're going to be showcasing our women. All 3 stations going at the same time. Kettlebell snatches, pullovers, wall balls. On a new element called the handstand, walk ramp, and hand cleans.
We've got some game faces out here on the grid. Nicole Hunt looks ready to eat now, right? We saw her on the Jack and Jill. Maybe didn't have like too much of that fire in her. If she didn't have it then, she definitely has it now. Jess Placencia next to her. I mean, these ladies, I'm scared of them.
No, if they're hungry, you know what we say, Cassie, you gotta finish your breakfast.
You gotta finish your breakfast. I made that joke earlier with Taylor. You're right here.
Let's go.
Stand by.
Here comes Jessica Placencia, Sam Secord, and Nicole Hunt. Over for the Brigade, we have Kayla Hollings, Rebecca Rouse, and Ariana Durham. Of course, Ariana Durham, also Olympic weightlifter, just like Rebecca Rouse. Kayla Hollings, though, she used to play for the Orlando Aces, so that's one of Taylor Stallings' former players there, and she is obviously a very key part. A utility player, can do a little bit of everything, so very important piece of the puzzle.
One thing that I find so interesting when it comes to the females, that was 53 pounds that they were throwing up on that kettlebell snatch. 10 pounds is hard enough. 53 pounds, super strong for these females to show off, and now they're on to the aerial assault.
That's right. These are the 5 pullovers. Look how fast they're going, Byram. I mean, they're absolutely crushing it. I'm scared that they're going to hit their toes on each other, but they're getting where they need to be, and they're getting ready for those 15 wall balls. Nicole Hunt finishing off her last one, while the Brigade have already done about 3 reps.
Now, some of these, like when you see the elements and some of the movements, they can be a bit extreme. They are. But also there are particular elements and workouts that you can do. As you can see, this wall ball, there's something that you can add to your own repertoire at home. If you're a fitness enthusiast, you want to get those quads burning, you want to get those hammies in shape, go to that wall ball, baby. You'll get in shape.
That's right. We're finishing off those wall balls. Who's going to be the first to the handstand ramp? Oh, and the Brigade are on their hands going over the ramp. Only rule is you just got to get over the ramp. Oh, little fall for Kayla Hollings there. She's going to have to make it up. Tom Pacenta saying, change the game plan. Come over here. Finish this off.
Oh, Bryleigh.
Bryleigh with a little fall on her. She's going to have to redo that handstand ramp. You have to establish control of your handstand first before you can even do it. Oh, Bryleigh's struggling a little bit on these.
Everybody's struggling a little bit, Cassie. It's tough out there. This ain't easy. This is why this was added. This is a great equalizer right here, and I love how it has brought both these teams equal out here.
That's right, Nicole Hunt, just a little jog, but she's gonna have to have a little bit more of a sense of urgency here because the Brigade are hands up in the air. They're about to finish their hang squat cleans.
Yeah, they're looking clean over there. Look at the Tampa Bay Brigade, just easy work, work.
And the Brigade are going to, in 5 reps, take this one. Hand up for the palms, though. Oh, they're gonna have to make it up, though. They're going a little bit slower over here for the Brigade. Hands up.
Fatigue is a factor.
Hands up for the palms. Oh, Brigade are still going to take it very narrowly. Yeah, they could have taken it a little bit faster, though.
Stroll to the finish line for the Tampa Bay Brigade and those beautiful ladies over there. As we can see, the team goes down to meet the victors. To the victor goes the spoil. As we said, the Tampa Bay Brigade are in a groove right now, looking real good. And fatigue looked like it kicked in a little bit for the palm. So we're going to see if they can catch up here in the next race.
That's right, Byram. That was a good win for the Brigade. Palms not too far behind, but they did finish under the time cap, so they will be taking credit for that race. Let's go ahead and come right back to you.
I'm already losing my voice. We're only halfway through this.
With grid, you know, if you can do a couple things well, you can learn how to do the other things well. You can have a really good time.
It's nice that they're doing like a beginner kind of level, so we can participate. Yes, agreed.
It's fun, it's crazy,
it's competitive, it's high octane, high energy, high intensity.
So fast. Everything is fast, fast, fast.
CrossFit is usually individual focus with the open and stuff, but here it's really looking at everyone's strengths and looking at how we can build off each other and how you can swap in for people if needed. So it's been kind of neat to go back to my moves like that for teamwork.
If you are a CrossFitter and haven't tried Grid, go Grid.
Yeah.
And we are back. Let's go ahead and throw it over to Byram on the grid with Rebecca Rouse.
All right, we are here with the GOAT, Rebecca Rouse. You already know what time it is with this one right here. She's a straight dog. Listen, talk to us about that last race. You guys look like you are in a groove right now.
We are in the groove right now. That last race, I think, really sent it home for us. I'm pretty sure we're good to go now for the rest of the match, but we're not going to rest on our laurels. We got more races to win. We came for victory.
Absolutely. Now, we're not going to keep it a secret. Everybody knows you guys are going for the championship this year. How are you feeling about your team?
I feel like our odds are pretty good this year. We felt good last year, made it all the way to playoffs, and it was very close to getting us to the championships, but this year we are a whole new team. We have all trained so hard in the offseason and worked on our weaknesses. You can tell mine is cardio. We're going to get there.
Now, final question. Your personal goals for the 2025 season at Grid?
My personal goals, get more fit. My strength is there, but my cardiovascular not so much. So start doing a little bit of CrossFit to help me work on my weak points and just keep getting stronger.
I love it. You already heard it. Rebecca Rouse, thank you, Mommy. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
I didn't think they were going to be good because they were frozen, but they're amazing.
Definitely can't find any healthy foods at an event, so this is awesome.
My favorite meals I eat. Cheers.
And we are back. We're getting ready for that men's triad. We're going to be seeing the same elements: kettlebell snatches, pullovers, wall balls, freestanding handstand push-ups, which is going to actually be the handstand ramp, and hang squat cleans at 155 pounds. Now, go ahead and tell me the weights.
Okay, so we got the weights, 70 pounds for the kettlebells. Oh, it disappeared on me. And we also got, let me check it here. We got, oh, we're back. 30 pounds for the wall balls. And we also have 155 pounds for that hang squat clean. So we turned the weight up just a little bit. Same process as we saw with the females. And we're going to see how the men perform out here on the grid.
That's right. We saw a little bit of a struggle on both sides for that handstand ramp where, you know, they do handstands all the time, but you add a little bit of stairs and a ramp, kind of changes things.
Get different when you got to go up the stairs on a handstand. It's very difficult. We knew that it was going to be difficult, and that's the reason they put it in grid. So, hey, it was exciting to see, and we know that these athletes are going to adapt. Yeah. So later on in the season, you're going to see these athletes do a whole lot better with that.
Definitely, and there's definitely some people that can make up the slack on these teams in case they can't either. That's the important thing to note. So we're going to see them do the same thing, just a little bit heavier, a little bit more of them too.
Yes, we're going to see. Now, we saw some guys flying through this thing in practice, so we're going to see who are going to be the guys that can fly through this ramp. That's the great equalizer.
That's right. We're taking a look at those game faces here on the grid. The Brigade are a well-oiled machine. The Palms are too. You know, the Palms are just missing just those few pieces. They got to catch up here, or else I'm afraid to say it, but I think the Brigade are going to take away this match.
I have a question here now, Cassie. When it comes to free agency, we spoke about this before on the Gridlock Pod. Are they able to make moves during the season when it comes to free agency?
That's a great question. From my understanding, they cannot change teams mid-season. We saw that happen, and people try to do that with the Venom, right? The people that left / got kicked off of the Venom, they ended up wanting to go and explore other teams, and that's fine to do, but you just can't play during that season.
Understood.
Maybe that will evolve as we get more competitive and add more teams. I would love to see it.
Yes, absolutely. Looks like we're getting ready.
And they are off, starting off with those 15 kettlebell snatches at 70 pounds. Those things are heavy. It's a lot of maneuvering. You got to make sure that you get it over your wrist. You don't want it to lean too far to the side. It's going to take your elbow out. But I mean, these are so fast. We're looking over here at the Brigade. Kyle Massey's going really fast on those. They might be just a little bit questionable. They're a little bit off to the side, actually, but it does have to be over that plane. The Palms reps are very, very clean over here.
Absolutely. It looks like we had a lefty out there. We just missed a huge finish, but we're on to the aerial assault here. They're going to roll over these bars. They're going to do it as fast as they can. These are some big guys. All these guys got to be over 180 pounds, so that's a lot of weight that they're going over those bars with.
That's right. It looks like Gancine was the first one to finish those pullovers.
Uh-oh, we got a fault there for the Palms.
Oh, it looks like he was not finished with his reps. Not the best communication that could have happened there, but they're off nonetheless. Brigade are just a teeny tiny bit ahead now, right? So they're going to have to take advantage of that and keep being ahead if the Palms aren't going to catch up to them, because the Palms are hungry.
Yes. Now, one thing about this, even though there's a lot of speed out here on this grid, as you can see at home and in the chat, they're taking their time because the specifics of this particular workout, you have to hit that Valor circle up there. It has to be touched, and you have the refs have to see it. Now we're off to the ascending and decline handstand walk.
Yeah, oh, it looks like 2 faults over here for the Palms, and the Brigade are already finished with their handstands. Man,
my goodness.
What a deep bench that the Brigade have. Very comfortable lead. Aduda's going to try to come over for the Palms and take over, see if he can get over the stairs one more time, and he is over.
Nice.
Ooh, very clutch from Adud. Cody Rice almost finished, and he is also going to finish. All right, Brigade very far ahead here, right? We're looking at the Brigade, very comfortable lead, hands up in the air. The Palms are definitely going to finish under the time cap unless something happens within the next 2 minutes, but looks like they're very close.
Yeah, easy money for the Tampa Bay Brigade right now. I gotta be honest, that handstand walk is smacking the Palms in the face. It really is. So we're gonna see if they can recover later on in the season, but right now, they gotta finish as strong as they can.
Definitely, it's a hard one just because, you know, they're not able to practice with that equipment. If you don't have that equipment to practice, it's gonna be a hard one. Oh, and
what
that
happened?
is a photo
What happened?
finish.
What happened right there? What happened?
It looks like the Palms think they won that one.
Oh my goodness.
This is exactly the fire that the Palms needed for their team right now. It might go into review. The Palms look like they think they won. It's going to come down to the stopwatches. It's going to come down to the finish line camera. Commissioners already standing up trying to figure out what's happening, who won that one. Oh boy, friends.
Yeah.
This is Grid League. Woo!
All right, we got to holler at Matt, the commissioner. We need an instant replay a camera coming soon, because that right there.
And the flag gets dropped
Is that
by
the challenge?
Cody Landrum. That is the challenge flag, and once you throw it on the ground, you cannot pick it up. You have to take that challenge. Why would they waste their own challenge on something they won, though?
They need it. They need this win right now. If they lose,
they could have waited. They could have waited for the Brigade to throw theirs.
Well, the Brigade.
If the Brigade lost.
But the Brigade felt like they were winning. You know, it seemed like they slowed down. I don't know if it was fatigue or if they got caught there at the end. They swept through the handstand walk, right?
I don't know if I can agree with that call. It might have been a little bit too early to throw that flag, especially if it looked like your team won and you celebrated like you won. It looks like they were going to give you the points, but we're going to find out in just a second, I guess.
Something is off. I missed something there. We're going to see. We're going to see them work it out here, folks. Hang tight and lock in.
That's right. Let's come back after this break.
Future ready fiber home internet
That's ultra fast.
and Grid League strong. Level up with T-Mobile Fiber. Game, stream, and stay connected to what matters with lightning quick speeds.
Up to 2 gigs and rock solid reliability.
Equipment and installation are included with each plan. Oh, and there's no exploding bills.
Visit fiber.tmobile.com/pbbreakers to find out if T-Mobile Fiber is available where you are.
Go Palm Beach Breakers and go T-Mobile Fiber Home Internet.
I'm almost always on a foam roller. That's the first thing I do when I start training. I was just on the rumble roller. Rolling out those muscles and getting them opened up and warm helps me mobilize a little bit easier.
It wasn't just a regular roller. It hit the right spots.
As a bodyweight specialist, I'm always trying to get in there just so I can get
bit of range here. I'm definitely using this as much as possible.
I'm so excited to get to work those into my mobility, my warm-up drills, and that's already going to go right into my gym bag.
I will be using this to get in there so that I can get out there and be all right.
So it looks like we have 2 challenges. One of them is a challenge from the Brigade on the first ramp of the handstand walk. They said it wasn't to standard. And then the second challenge was who finished first. Is that correct? Who finished first? The challenge is who finished first? Correct. Okay, so we're gonna have to see. They threw 2 challenge flags, right? So the challenge is there. Maybe both of them win their challenge. They get to keep their flag. Maybe none of them. But there's only 2 races left. So there's no point in hanging on to your challenge flags until it's over. I mean, if this is the time to throw a challenge flag, it's the time to throw a challenge flag. You know what I mean?
Indeed. Now, listen, it's funny that both throw their challenge flag. Both feel like they got faulted. So it's a lot going on the grid. It was a lot going on, period. If you go and rewatch that race. So we're going to work all this thing out. We see Mather and the refs right now. They're huddled around the monitor trying to work this thing out. So hopefully they don't have to pull out the rule book like they did last year one time.
I'm sure they will pull out the rule book.
That's like
you have to, in the spirit of, you know, sports and fairness and all of those, you know, happy days things.
You know, I'm a movie buff, everybody at home. It's like what Jack Sparrow's dad pulled out the big law book when they had the meeting. Do we have a card? You know, so we're going to see what's going on. Everybody has to match. And the thing about it is Grid lives in fairness.
Yeah.
It's all about fairness. They want the athletes to have the best chance they have to win. So this is why they take the time to get it right. So we're going to do it. We're going to get it right.
It's going to be interesting to see, because if they have to rerun this, they're going to rerun the final 2 elements, which is the handstand walk and also the hang squat clean. So if you struggled with the handstand walks the first time, imagine all that pressure running it the second time.
Maybe it was nervousness. You know, it could, because this is the first time a lot of these teams are going through this, I think, you know, running through this in this fashion. So maybe the do-over will work well for them.
That's a really good point, Byram. I didn't think about it that way, because even in the warm-up area, you can't practice on the handstand ramps. You kind of have to go into it cold and take the few minutes that you have right before the triad starts to kind of warm that up.
Yes.
So maybe it was just getting rid of, you know.
Some butterflies.
Yeah, some butterflies.
Yes.
Your land leg to get your sea legs.
There you go. There you go. So we're going to see. We got some time here, folks. So hang tight with us in the chat. Everybody at home viewing, we're going to get this thing right for you.
While you're in the chat, have you guys told us where you're from yet?
Yes,
I'm here from Miami, Florida, and I'm here in Miami, Florida.
Yes.
Fun times. I love being home. 305, Mr. Worldwide.
305.
Dale.
Shout out to the 305, man. Everybody from up north comes down here when we turn about 45, 50, so it's a great place to be. I am from Brooklyn, New York, representing the 5 boroughs. We do have some news. Can we speak on that, Cassie, about the expansion of the grid?
We sure can.
We have a New York team coming from the Northeast, the New York Wolves, right? Coming to the grid. Is it going to be next year or this year?
It's going to be for the 2026 season next season.
Awesome.
I'm so excited to see it. We have a new team this year, which is the Houston Bandits. We're going to see their first time ever doing it, the debut. So adding another team from the Northeast is going to be a lot of fun. Of course, we have, you know, in the Northeast, some of the, some of the best sports fans. Here in the Southeast, we're not the best sports fans. We kind of
Unless it's college football.
Yeah, exactly. We kind of give up a little bit easier, at least as far south as I am in Miami.
It's all right.
But some of the best sports fans, maybe we need one in Boston. I mean, I love that crowd. I know you feel some type of way, but
that'd be nasty. Boston against New York and grid? Woo! Goodness gracious alive.
Tale as old as time. You know?
All right, folks, they're still at home working through the kinks here. They're going over replays as we speak right in front of us. So continue to hang tight, get you a beverage, whatever you do, and stay locked in with us.
Absolutely. Stay locked in. Gridlock, should I say.
Yes, there we go. How you enjoying the new podcast, Gridlock Pod? If you're out there and you want to tap into some nice, grid action athletes, that are talking that talk, outside of grid, how are you feeling about it?
It's a lot of fun. It's not an official affiliation with the Grid League, so anything I say is, the views of my own or my guests. But it is a lot of fun. We talk a lot of grid on there if you want to check it out. But we have a good time. But here on the grid, we're still waiting on that review.
Yes.
It looks like they're challenges after challenges, guys, Challenge this, challenge that.
It's the beginning of the season. Everybody wants to stack as many points as they possibly can. So I understand it. It does slow the play down a little bit, but that's okay. Want to get it as right as possible. So let's see.
And we'll be right back, Vines. I don't know if you heard that, friends, from our chief referee, Brandon McMillan, but it looks like the Palms won their challenge, and it looks like, unfortunately, the Brigade lost their challenge, right?
Simply incredible.
So they said that the first handstand walk was good, right? It was to standard, showed control before and after, and then it looks like it stands that, as a result, the Palms are going to take that race.
Very important. You want to get it right. These points are precious, and the Palms needed it because they're a little bit behind. So this kind of gives them a little boost, and let's see how they can compete in the next races.
Of course, they definitely needed that one for their camaraderie, for their team spirit, to get back in the game. Maybe they'll throw the bonus flag here.
Bonus
flag.
Yes, coming soon.
Fun times.
Yes.
But in the meantime, we're waiting to see that sprint relay, which is the very last race of this match. Let's go ahead and look forward to it.
Sprint relay is the final race of every match and is worth an extra point for the race win. It is a relay race with one player allowed on the grid at a time and 8 elements to perform. Any player can perform on any element, and substitutions can happen at any time, except when a player performs the last rep of an element. In that case, the player must run back to the start line, perform a 4-point touch behind the start line, and sprint through to the finish line, permanently leaving the race. The next player may enter once the previous one has crossed the finish line. The only exception is the distance element that ends at the finish line with no sprint back required. The catch is, 4 men and 4 women must finish the 8 elements. The sprint relay is a great balance of strategy to decide which players in what order are the best combination, along with clean and well-executed elements by the players, to lead to the best race outcome for the team. Remember, 4 men and 4 women must finish the 8 elements in the sprint relay.
Unlike American football or baseball, where positions are very clearly defined with rules specific to them, Grid League positions are more general. Think of it as a spectrum with a 4-foot gymnast on one end and a 400-pound strongman on the other, with every possible size, shape, and skill set focus filling in the middle. Roles on the grid have a lot of crossover from position to position, and there are many possible combinations that will yield a great team. Grid League has 3 primary player positions or roles on the team. Utility players generally have a wide range of abilities and end up with a diverse set of assignments on the grid. Utility players, although often assigned more total work than specialists, will still focus on their best movements as their means to contribute to the team. The strength specialist role often involves heavier assignments and, depending on the player's background, may be even more focused to individual types of strength movement, such as Olympic weightlifting or strongmen. Most of the super high-skill movements like backward roll to support in deficit, freestanding handstand push-ups are performed by bodyweight specialists. That said, there are several bodyweight specialists that mainly focus on more basic movements, but for big sets and fast cycle rates. Many are gymnasts as well, but even some of the best do not have gymnastics backgrounds, such as former MVP Paul Lays. Learn more about the sport of Grid League at fgl.com/learn.
All right, folks, we are with the final race of this particular match, the sprint relay, one of the most funnest matches you will see on the grid. Starting out, we got the 60-pound double Dumbbell shoulder to overhead, we are 10 reps of those. We are 100-pound deep ball squats, 10 reps of those, the second quadrant. The back of our eyes, we need 4 reps. Legless rope climbs, very interesting. We need 3 reps of those. The flip sled, say that 5 times really fast, at 100 pounds at 80 inches. We have chest to bar pull-ups, 20 reps of those. 45-pound plate handstand step overs, 6 reps at quadrant 3, and 315-pound cleans, 3 reps in the final quadrant.
Just to clarify, Byram, that's 80 feet, not 80 inches. Because if it was 80 inches, I could do it myself.
Feet. Oh my gosh, pardon me, guys.
I mean, if it's 80 inches, put me in, coach. I'm the 80-inch flip sled specialist, you know what I mean?
80 feet, let's go. We got some work to do. Let's get it.
We sure do. I mean, there's so many new elements in here that we haven't seen before.
Yes.
You know, the D-ball squats is one of the newer ones. The legless rope climbs we've seen before, but are always fun.
Yes.
The 6-plate handstand step overs are so much fun. But we're looking at that strongman throwing sandbag toss at 40 pounds. I've seen videos of people doing them, and it looks like some people can just throw that across the grid. You know what I mean?
I saw those in the pre-game in the back. They look like plastic logs, basically. That's what it looks like. You'll see. So people at home, lock in. You've seen the strongman contest when they've thrown sand or they have the big rocks where they hold it around. So we're going to see these. I like organized chaos, kind of. They call it the grid circus. That's what some of the trolls are calling it. Well, you know what? Welcome to the circus of grid, baby. Let's have some fun. Stay and have some fun if you like it.
So who would be the ringmaster, you or me?
The ringmaster, I think it might be you. You know
I think so too.
Yeah.
That's very ringmaster of me.
That's a smart answer.
So we're here waiting on this sprint relay. It looks like the Brigade have pretty much taken it away. The unofficial score right now is 18 for the Brigade and 11 for the Palms. Even if they threw their bonus flag, even if the Brigade get no points for this one, it looks like they've won this match. But of course, you do have to close up the differential because how many points you lose by really matters. Because you don't want to have too many, because if it comes down to your win-loss record at the end of the season and they tabulate those things, it's going to be real ugly when you have, you know, -7 points, right?
Yes, and plus it's just the beginning of the season. You know, we still have a long way to go before the playoffs, before the championship. So stack as many points as you can. You want to build on your team and see what you need to work on going into the next races.
Absolutely, and you know, building begins at the start of the season. So you
Absolutely.
Well, it begins in the off season, realistically. I mean, it starts when you're born, actually. You can take it all the way back there.
Yeah.
But you really have to make sure that you're, you know, planning for the rest of the season, especially if you're a team like the Brigade that's wanting to make it all the way and has good prospects.
The Palms have great leadership.
Yes.
So I don't expect them to falter. Regardless of what the circumstances are, they're going to keep going. So they're going to put on a show for us regardless of what it is. So let's have some fun, lock in, folks, and we're going to do it.
I'm definitely locked in to see who wins this one. Of course, the sprint relay is a race where it's one person working at a time, right? Only one person allowed on the grid. Whoever finishes the last rep of any given element has to be the one to do that 4-point touch at the start line and then run to the finish line. Comment down below if this is your first time seeing sprint relay. This is one of my favorite races, I have to say.
Something to keep in mind, that 4-point touch that you mentioned, because occasionally when things get hot and heavy, some athletes forget.
That's right.
Yeah.
They forget, or they, you know, like they make it sketchy. They're touching the line. You want to make sure it's very clear, because there's referees that their only job here today is to make sure that you're touching that line and that you're tagging people in and that you're making contact. That is their one job here today. So I don't foresee them messing that up if they're staring at you like a hawk. But better not mess with it. Stay safe.
Absolutely. So who do you got winning this last match here? Even though we know the Palms are behind on points, we never know. What's your thought process right now?
I'm feeling the Brigade. The Brigade have something for everyone. Like, very specifically, it seems like they tailor-made their team. Not tailor-made.
Nice.
They tailor-made their team to make sure that they had someone that can do every element, but not only do them, but execute them almost to perfection.
I love it. I'm going to go with the Palms with this one only because they have a little bit more utility players. So we're going to see if that comes in and becomes a factor on this race. Here we go.
Let's see it. Yeah, a few of the Palms are a bit bigger than the Brigade too. They have the size.
Yes.
Brett Henry is chipping away at those reps over here, while that is Ariana Durham for the Brigade. He's gonna switch out for Sam Secor to finish that last one, and the Brigade are the first ones to the finish line. It's good to keep your elements close, nice and close to the start line, and make sure you're able to do stuff. Here come those D-ball squats over here. That's Jessica Placencia, and that's Bella Carvalho over there for the Brigade.
And as you can see, they have that D-ball on one side. You can see how it's specifically settled on that shoulder, head to the side. There's a reason for that. That's what the refs want to see. And you go speed, 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 speed. You try to get out of here.
That's
Let's
right.
go.
That was a great equipment crew person that was able to move that D-ball so fast right after it so they could have space for that sprint. But it looks like Chris Chaffee, of course, didn't have to do too much work today, but he is flying through those things, making very, very light work of those 4 back up rises to forward rolls. Bryleigh Hansen, obviously a little bit taller, doing a lot of work today. She has. I'm sure she's feeling pretty fatigued here too.
I was just going to say that Bryleigh's doing too much to me, it seems, you know, but she has to do what she has to do for her team.
Yep, here comes Dalton Herrero out here for the Brigade. Very fast. Always fun to see him on the grid. He's one of those guys that can just fly on his hands and do all of the non-leg essential things. Artur Cabral coming out here. Of course, he has the size. He could just jump up, basically be halfway up the rope already. Pretty crazy.
6'5" going up there.
Yeah, here comes those sandbag tosses. That's 40 pounds. That is Mike Rosa over there for the Brigade, and he is flinging that thing.
You see that
fly? Let's see how far Brett Henry can throw that thing.
Wow.
Oh.
So are they throwing that to the next quadrant, Cassie?
They have to throw it to the finish line.
Woo, all the way down to the finish line.
All the way down.
Wow, what a toss.
And he threw it into the finish line. That was a great finish from Brett Henry. That's going to allow Edgar Cancina to come out here for the Palms. Marissa Oxenford having to adjust the D-ball in her legs just a little bit, making up some time for the Palms here. Ooh.
Oh, he dropped it. Does that count? That does not count. He has to go back.
Oh, I wonder what happened there. That might be a challenge. Marissa Oxenford struggling a little bit. She's doing some straight pull-ups to finish off those reps. Edgar Cancina is still out first. 4-point touch, and he is out of there.
Speed.
We're getting ready for those 6-plate handstand step-overs over those 45-pound Valor plates. This is Nicole Hunt. We've seen her a few times today. Rookie, just learning the ropes, trying to figure out how to do everything. Over there for the Brigade, that's Hannah Bissett, one of the smallest on the grid. Oh, and she made very light work. She didn't even have to come down once for that 4-point touch, and she is out. Nicole Hunt has some serious ground to make up. She's better run off that grid, because here comes Courtney Moss.
Yes, the big guy is at the final rep there. It's the 315 pounds. He's trying to, was it a hand clean, right?
No, just 3 cleans from the floor.
3 cleans from the floor.
And he's got to do them fast, because here comes Corey Hendon, and Corey Hendon is a bit smaller, and he's going to touch and go.
Let's go.
Courtney Moss might have given us a lead. That's a fault. Both of them faulting on that last barbell. I've never seen it happen. I've never seen it happen, guys. Corey Hendon, can he lift it up?
Yeah.
The 4-point touch. 4-point touch, Corey. He's just learning. It's okay. He went into that finish line. Corey Hendon takes that win for the Palms. What an upset.
Yeah, way to call it, B. Way to call it. I knew it. Great win by the Palm Beach Palms, man. Wow, South Beach Palm. Way to finish it off.
Courtney Moss still struggling on that last barbell. We've never seen this from Courtney. This may be remnants from his injury.
Oh my, yes, the ACL. He has to get up. Give him that energy, folks. Come on, Tampa Bay. Oh.
What are they going to do? I mean, they're still winning, but you want to close that differential as much as possible. Do they have anybody that can substitute? It looks like they do not.
Wow.
Bryleigh is gathering everybody to cheer on Courtney Moss. Let's see if he can
Come on,
do
Court.
it. There's only 15 seconds remaining, ladies and gentlemen.
And this is what we love about Grid, the camaraderie between the teams. Come on,
it.
Courtney. Get it up, boy. Oh.
And it looks like Courtney Moss is not going to finish that sprint relay for the Tampa Bay Brigade, but the Tampa Bay Brigade will take home that win. They will take 0 in that race, leaving them with a score of 18, and the Palms will have a score unofficially of 13, leaving them with a 5-point differential. Wow, what an amazing match today. I don't think it went the way that anybody was expecting it to, but it was definitely a lot of fun to watch. What about you, Byram?
Great fun. Love how everything, came out the, box with the Palms. They started out strong. The Tampa Bay Brigade, they caught their win, and they grooved through the whole race. At the end there, Courtney Moss had a little bit of an issue. That's okay. The win is secured. He knows what he has to work on. The Palms have something to build on now. They didn't let it up. Great leadership by Bryleigh Hansen. Great win in that last race for the Palms.
Definitely. It was a lot